Hey everyone, in this video I'll be showing you how to install R and RStudio on your computers. You essentially need both R and RStudio installed, otherwise it won't work. So consider this as something like RStudio is your working environment or sort of the IDE that like if you consider in terms of like you have Python like Jupyter Notebook, if you're familiar with it. Um, RStudio is something similar like that. It makes life very like easier to work with your data set. Whereas R is essentially your programming language, right? Um, so once again, RStudio is your development environment or the graphic user interface, which makes the programming in R easier. So the first thing when you are on this site, you want to do is, as it says, step one, install R. And when you click on that, it will lead you to this CRAN RStudio page, where depending on if you have Linux, Mac, or Windows, you'll choose accordingly. In my case, it's Windows, so I'm going to go in and let's say you already have R installed and you are just updating, even in that case, there's different ways to update it, but let's assume that this is your first time. And in that case, you want to click on the base. And here you can see download R 4.5.2 for Windows. So now this is the current version that's up and running. You can also look at previous releases because sometimes there are cases where you need previous versions for certain packages, which might not have been updated for or in order to work with the latest versions, which you can also find here. So in this case, we'll just download, click on this, and it'll start the download. Once downloaded, you can see it under your downloads, and you'll click on Open File, and that will start your installation. And it'll take a second, and once it comes up on your screen, you say yes, and then you select the setup language to English. And you'd have to click on next in order to agree. You choose the location where you want it to go. Usually by default, it'll go in program files in C drive, and ideally that's where you should keep it, unless you have other preferences. You just do main installation, 64-bit file. Just keep everything that's checked as it is. And you do next. Do you want to customize the startup option and just accept the default? And then select Start Menu Folder. It's going to be R. Next, and it'll create a desktop shortcut, version number, saving in the registry. Just keep everything that's default, and then click Next, and it'll start the installation process. It'll take a few seconds, and once it's completed, you'll see the message here. Now, once you're done with this particular part, we will go on to the next one, which is installing RStudio. So once again, this part that we are doing right now is installing the core language via the CRAN website, which is the Comprehensive R Archive Network. We are currently installing the R 4.5.2 core language version. And once we're done with that, we'll install the IDE, RStudio, which is sort of a user-friendly graphical interface for writing our code. All right, so now that's done. Just click Finish. And once it's done, we'll come back and then click on Download RStudio Desktop for Windows. Save time, I have already downloaded it, and I'll just simply click on Open File. And once it loads up, it'll start the installation. Once again, you want to say yes for the installation. You click Next. You save it in the program file folder again, and it'll start the installation. Yeah, and so this installation may take some time, definitely longer than installation of the core language. And once it's done, we'll open up RStudio and verify our installation. One thing I'd like to point out is that if you're seeking older versions of RStudio, you can scroll down on this page, and at the bottom you can see older versions, which you can access right here and download in case you need to sometime access old R versions and RStudio versions, which are compatible with each other. Certain packages might not have been updated to work with the latest version. In those cases, you'd have to work with the older versions. All right. Now that the installation is complete, we can go to the Windows icon and look for the installation, which should be under R. And right here is RStudio. And when you click on that, it will open up a window or IDE like this, and it gives you the R version, which is 4.5.2, the latest version that we have. And this basically is your sort of the code editor, your console, where you can open up new R files by clicking on this green icon here, new file. Um, If you already have, you can also create a project. If you already have a file, you can open an existing file through files. You can also do the same thing. You can open file, you can create new file, and there are many other things you can do. So, this is your console, this is your terminal. This one here is your workspace, and um, I'm just going to allow for now. I don't know why this message popped up. Um, so in here on the right-hand corner, this is your environment, workspace history, connections, and some tutorials. Below here, you have your files, your workspace, the plots that you might generate with your dataset, the packages that you might install. You can search for packages here and do easy installations. You can also update packages through here. And then there's the help. So if you search on for any specific package or topic, you can find some help here. That's your viewer, and that's the presentation at the end. So that's about it for installation of both R and RStudio. And hope this video is helpful to you all. Yeah, I think I pretty much covered all the important installation aspects. Other than that, if you need any additional information, there's plenty of stuff out there on the original or the default website of both R and RStudio. Right? Have fun programming in R.